Hello, everybody, and welcome to the EIF 2016 Hall of Fame induction ceremony. As always, I'm your host, EIF owner Carney. Tonight, I'm here not to commentate, but for a more special occasion. This weekend means a lot to not only myself, but the entire EIF league. And of course, we're more than happy to be announcing that this is the first weekend that our WrestleMania weekend is being featured here on the EIF network. We couldn't think of a better place or a better way to spend this time. You know, WrestleMania is a big deal for everybody in this league. And for any wrestling fan who's a wrestling fan, they know what that name means. It's normally associated with World Wrestling Entertainment. And as Extreme International Fighting, we adapted it in a different way. We adapted it as EIF's WrestleMania. And what we were going to be able to do to create that for ourselves. And so we came up with this 12-hour spectacle. We came up with this idea one day from the time we woke up to the time we would go to bed, 12 hours of nonstop action. And for the first time in the 9-year history of EIF, we are going to bring that to you live here on the EIF network. But the night before WrestleMania, ever since EIF WrestleMania 2, all the way back in 2009, we created this, our Hall of Fame. And the Hall of Fame has changed so much over time. Originally, about a year to 2 years worth of service in EIF could get you your bid in the Hall. For the three that are going to be inducted tonight, it was much, much longer to take for them to get their opportunity to be in here. But these three deserve it perhaps more than any class we have ever had in this Hall of Fame before. Now, the Hall of Fame in EIF represents a lot of things. To some, it represents skill and who is the best of the best. You have Gallaty, Raymond, Ant, and more, who sit in this Hall of Fame based off of skill, based off of to be better than anybody else in this league in their time. You have guys that got inducted based off of creativity, innovation. I'd like to add myself in that name, as well as guys like Shags, who changed the landscape of wrestling and actually focused on it in an entertainment aspect as opposed to a more try-hard or skill-related aspect. You have guys like McDonut, who went through everything possible, and despite not being the most skilled, he had the biggest heart to get himself into the Hall of Fame. There are 22 Hall of Fame inductees that are currently listed on the EIF roster page on our website that are under Hall of Fame. And those 22 inductees were inducted for 22 different reasons. And tonight we have a 23rd, 24th, and 25th reason to induct more superstars. There is no one formula. This isn't a math or a science course. So there's no one formula for how to make it into the EIF Hall of Fame. You go on your own unique path. And while there may be some similarities between the three superstars that are inducted tonight, ultimately they all took individual paths that led them to where they are tonight. You know, tomorrow is a big night for all three of these men. They're in fact competing in what we've been calling over the last few WrestleManias the Big Three. And they've got a lot to do tomorrow. They've got their work cut out for them tomorrow. All three of them, multi-man matches, all three of them with championship implications, including one being a Money in the Bank ladder match. But tonight, one night before WrestleMania and less than 24 hours before the start of this event, we're going to celebrate because that's what it's really about. At the end of the day here, I didn't come here to make this league a league where people would get stressed out, flipping out, hating each other, and unfortunately that has happened along the way. But I came here to make a league that would be fun, competitive, enjoyable, and give people an outlet. And I'd like to think that I've done that for many, if not all, my superstars over the last 9 years. And for these three superstars tonight, I feel like I have 100% accomplished that. The three people that are going to be inducted tonight have dedicated 5 to 6 years of their time here in EIF. They all combined for over 1,200 matches played in EIF, along with over 55 championship reigns between them. They range from mid-card to world, and they all started out low. All three of these careers at one point looked like they would never have a launching pad. In 2010, a superstar named Ratluck joined the fray and really never joined. He sat around for 1 year and did pretty much nothing. I had no idea if he was even going to be anything, and the one night he tried to show up in 2011, and I didn't even know who he was. Now, modern day, I normally don't know who they are superstardom character-wise, but I didn't even know who Ratlick was. I didn't even know he was in EIF. Greedy and Tripod both had their hiccups in 2011 when they joined EIF. When Greedy joined EIF, I heard a lot of bad things from a league he was previously in, and people telling me to do everything I could to just make sure that he wouldn't stay here. And I have to admit, he was a pest. He was annoying. He still kind of is, but he was able to come along and get his stride. And for Tripod, I met a 12-year-old kid who had a bit of a temper and a knack for creating lackluster D- or lower promos. But somehow that didn't keep me from firing him, at least permanently, as he's still here. All joking aside, these three guys have been great superstars, but they've even been better friends to me. And tonight I'm more than happy to be able to say that Ratluck, Greedy, and Tripod are all going to be inducted into this year's 2016 EIF Hall of Fame class. Now, before we get to our first inductee, I would like to introduce a man who was an inductee last year. He was the final inductee and the most recent inductee into the EIF Hall of Fame on the eve of WrestleMania 8 in 2015. He, much like them, started out as a superstar and had a downward spiral at one point, but over time he became a great superstar, a great friend, and as of last year, the chief operating officer of Extreme International Fighting. So to say a few words, I'd like to introduce the COO of EIF and one of the three main eventers in tomorrow night's WrestleMania Undisputed World Championship match, Brutality.
Well, first off, I'd just like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight on Twitch and everybody who's here for being a part of the celebration. You know, about 1 year ago, I was where these three men are today. For years, I had tried to do everything I could to get myself into the EIF Hall of Fame. Last year, I finally became the 22nd Hall of Fame inductee. The feeling was surreal, and being here again now as a COO still brings back all those feelings. Being inducted into the EIF Hall of Fame is arguably the best thing for any superstar. I've had many superstardom great matches, WrestleMania main events, and even winning the BFG tournaments, but none of them even come close to comparing to the feeling that I have for when I was inducted last year. I am positive that these guys will feel the exact same way that I did. It's a night that these guys won't forget. I've spent most of my career fighting against you guys, but since becoming COO, I've gotten to sit back a bit more and watch all of you, and I couldn't have picked a better time to do that. Over the last year, all of you have had the best moments of your career in the ring. You have given it your all and put on some amazing performances. Together, you guys combined for over 1,200 matches in this league, and that is truly something to be proud of. By the end of this night, we will have 25 Hall of Famers in EIF. And here in 2016, on the eve of WrestleMania 9, I can't think of a better trio superstars who deserve this honor more than you guys. So before we put emotions aside and go into war at WrestleMania tomorrow, enjoy tonight and welcome to the Hall of Fame, guys.
All right, so after those introductions, which I know mine was pretty long, so I tend to do that, but they are going to get longer probably. We still have three guys to actually formally induct, and we're going to start out by a guy who sometimes was known for the size of his heart, but more often known for the size of his wallet. So coming up next, we're going to put a brief video up on our board here for you. So we're taking a quick time out, and then through video, we will be introducing our first inductee, Greedy, into this year's Hall of Fame. We'll be right back.